Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 467 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles. On this very special episode of FRL, where we're going to be recapping, breaking down the entire conference tournament. To my right is Stephen Kyle Brackey. He was with me at Big Tens and coaching at a Little League tournament and sort of trying to watch the whole time. Probably somewhat tortured was Ben Asker, and I can't hear Ben, though.
You can't hear me? Why didn't you say anything?
No, he's not coming through, guys.
What? We were just talking like two.
In their room, very loosely, but I can't hear him, fellas.
We were just talking 2 seconds ago. All right, keep going.
All right, so I guess they're going to work on that. While they're working on that, a tradition unlike any other, Stephen Kyle, a lot to get into. Want to mention at the top of the show, tomorrow we're going to have our special, the second annual, no, Ben. We're going to have our second annual NCAA bracket release show. You guys ate that up last year when we did it. So they're dropping those at 5 o'clock Central, 6 Eastern. So we'll be breaking down the brackets. Nomad's going to be on. He's our foremost seeding expert. He's actually the industry leader in NCAA seeding criteria.
Yeah, he is.
He knows it better than anyone that is in media. So I'm excited.
Check.
He's already been chewing up and spitting out his thoughts on the seeds. I guess what is Bracky? What is the most controversial or discussed seeding scenario right now?
Probably 133, in the fact that a lot of people are not very happy with where Chaz Tucker is in his seating breakdown, and a lot of people were just like, "Hey, you're an idiot. You're on crack." And Nomad's like, "This is literally the formula they're going to use. This isn't my personal opinion."
Yes, which I think bears mentioning. Like they need to know that he kind of has that thing. He knows like how they will do it. Now, what is interesting is the fact that they can argue when they're within a certain amount of points, right? And they could say, okay, well, yeah, for example, Chaz Tucker's the 1, but this guy would be the 2, and they're within enough points, they could bump him up to the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that happens. Well, all will be revealed tomorrow. This is kind of like the most fun 4 or 5 day stretch of wrestling in some ways, because you get all the conference tournaments, and then we get to come back and then talk about it, break it down, and then on Wednesday you have all the brackets, which is amazing. So you have a week and a half of chewing up the brackets and seeing what's going to happen, and who had good draws, who had bad draws, where the crazy seeds happened. So it's a really fun time to be a wrestling fan. Before we get into the conference breakdown, and as we wait for Ben, hopefully, we were literally talking to him the entire time and heard him the entire show up till the show started, and now everything has changed. So I don't know what's going on. Jim Zalesky out at Oregon State.
Yeah.
I hate to say this sounds bad, but I shouldn't say I didn't see this coming, because Oregon State has been a real underperforming or disappointing program the last few years. They did have Desi and Bresser kind of propping them up a little bit, but compared to what they were early Zalesky years, when they were legitimately one of the best, they were a routinely top 10 team in the country, and now I don't know what's been going on there, but they've been struggling. Jim Zalesky's let go, and so the automatic question is, who comes in and takes that job? Bracky, what were your thoughts when you found out Zalesky was let go?
Not terribly surprised, as you said. He hasn't had the best performance over the past few years out there. We were kind of, Mike Mal and other people in the office were kind of speculating about who could possibly be on the hot seat, or who could possibly be being replaced, and he actually never came up. I don't know. We just didn't think about it, but that's not ever a good sign when no one's thinking about your program.
It's tough because what puts you on that list is like how much does the program care, right?
Expectations, right?
Mm-hmm. What are the expectations there? And I think the expectations should be high at Oregon State, given that within the last 10 years, they've had a super competitive program. And now they haven't. So I understand the decision, and the short list of potential guys to take that job have been filtering in. And for me, the first person I thought of that would be a natural fit, I think, is Chris Pendleton.
Yep.
I think when you consider what his reputation as a assistant coach, his West Coast connections as well, and the fact that this guy's been in the running for some head coaching jobs, I think it's time for him to move on. I think he's ready to take on a program. I think it'd be great if he was able to get that job. So I think he would do a good job. Another name I didn't think of until it was said to me, but I think Mike Gray, if he was interested. I don't know if it's like the most perfect fit. He's a New Jersey guy, been in the Ivy Leagues for so long. To go Pac-12, I feel like that's like not his natural fit, though. I think he's an excellent coach, and I think at some point he will be a really good head coach. I just don't know if Oregon State is like the most logical next step for him.
Yeah, and the Pendleton one makes a lot of sense too, because he's used to recruiting the area. Obviously, being on the West Coast, California is going to be a big area for you to recruit, and he's obviously had a lot of success there. Having been at Arizona State and is familiar with the Oregons and Washingtons as well. So I think he'd be a great fit there. Of course, Brian Snyder's going to get mentioned with every job that comes open too.
No
I just
way.
don't see him. He has such a good gig at Nebraska. Why would he leave for Oregon State?
And especially when the kind of unsaid yet said thing is like he's going to be the next guy at Nebraska, right? Why would you miss that opportunity just so you can be the head coach at Oregon State? Obviously, no, Oregon State's a fine job, but if you can have the Nebraska gig, that's going to be absolutely huge. So, and I feel like Coach Snyder's had a lot of opportunities in the past, and I'm not even sure how much he's even applied. So I think he's pretty well locked in there. I
agree.
You know, it was the run that you would always get. You would say back when Sean Bormet was assistant. Bormet, Pritzloff, Brian Snyder,
Jaggers,
Lou Roselli was a common one that was thrown in there, and I feel like there's one other one. They're always just in the short list of every single one. I don't feel like Pritzloff makes a lot of sense there either. To me, it's Pendleton. If he's interested in the job, I think he's a no-brainer hire for them to make. I think he'll do an awesome job. The Pacific Northwest is kind of an interesting area for talent. Like, they don't put out the creme de la creme elite high school guys, but there's good wrestling out in the Pacific Northwest, and plus with California right there, you would anticipate that some of those guys, there's not that many schools to wrestle in California.
You know, the better guys have left that area. Like, someone on Facebook brought up Travis Whitlake. He's at Oklahoma State, and before that was committed to Penn State. So
yeah, he was not
staying, you know.
Nothing.
Right, so when they get him, they'll have to keep him. I think a young, hungry current assistant would do an awesome job there. And I also wonder, I was thinking back, why did this go this way for Coach Zalesky? How much did the Kevin Roberts thing from a year or two ago when he got let go, he was a longtime assistant there. I wonder if that put something in their minds like, this maybe isn't working out. This isn't you may need to go in a different direction. So that's interesting, but why don't we get into Big Tens? Because that's where we were, and it was awesome. 125, there's not a ton to talk about other than Pat McKee. I mean, Spencer Lee mowed his way through as predicted. Pat McKee going hello makes me think he is not healthy at all. Yeah. Lost to Meredith in round one, so you say, okay, maybe Brandon Meredith's coming along, but he did not win another match, I don't believe, throughout Big Tens. And then he lost to Heinzelman by pinfall. Heinzelman qualified. How about that? After all that, and it just didn't look good for him. He figures out a way to qualify when no one expected that.
Yeah, he looked great. Beat Cardani as well from Illinois, who he had a loss to earlier this season. So, yeah, he looked great.
And 125. I mean, Spencer, he got a couple pins. He got a tech fall, and then the 14-point win over Schroeder, just missing the technical fall there towards the end. So Spencer looking. And now the Hodge fray has cleared out even further. 5 number ones lost this weekend, which is pretty astounding.
I asked you before the show. I'm not sure the last time that's ever happened. I'm sure there's probably
5 number ones.
Yeah.
Maybe some other conference weekends it would have had to have happened, but other than that, I don't know. I can't think of another example. But yeah, 125. But let's get to 133, which was the most anticipated, and it truly delivered. It's like sometimes you can hype something up, and then it finally happens, and you're like, oh, wasn't as good as I had hoped it would be. And this was every bit as good as we'd hoped it would be. Seth Gross, Sebastian Rivera, Part 2 was probably the best match of the tournament. Maybe, maybe not. It was really good, though.
Yeah.
Comeback from Rivera. And, what's interesting, I'm sorry, I'm reading. Ben is typing in the doc. People on Twitter are saying they can hear me.
Yeah, on Facebook they can hear him too.
It is so I guess it is our headsets, but it was literally working before the show started, and now it's not. I see. You know what? We could do something. I see Ben. He's doing sign language. Jaden Cox taught him sign language finally. Ben, if you raise your hand, I'll just stop talking, and you have to make a point, and the point has to be something that you can't ask us any questions because we can't hear you. So if you want to talk, go ahead and say something right now.
The turn, but how he, if he wasn't getting a turn, he just let him up, take him down again, let him up, take him down again, which that's probably what he should have been doing the whole time. I think he listened to FRL last week and he realized he is the best sprinter in college wrestling history.
Wow, great
I'm
point.
done.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I was actually just thinking that. I'll show you. I have that written down, that exact sequence of words. Well said. He could have been ranting about coronavirus. Oh, no. But that's just the fun of this, I guess, or the misery, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so Rivera, what were your thoughts on when Gross gets those first 2 takedowns? I was thinking, I just had this a Jack Mueller visions in my mind. I was like, oh, this is gonna be another. He's gonna get ridden a bunch, taken down. Gross has it this time, and it's gonna go differently.
No, it looked like it was going to be all Gross. That first takedown was so slick. And then scoring again, it just looked like he had made the adjustments that we heard Coach Bono talk about. And he talks about Seth being, strategizing his matches and after getting a feel, being able to make adjustments. And that's what it looked like. But Sebastian is the same way. And he said it multiple times in interviews we did with him afterwards. He's like, yeah, I give up the first takedown a lot. He's like, I just start to figure things out and get the feel for it. And that's exactly what happened. He hadn't been able to get to his offense to that point yet in the match either. So then he was able to get on his offense, and he finishes so patiently.
Yeah.
He doesn't panic or freak out or try to rush these finishes. He takes his time, and against guys like Seth Gross and RBY, who are really good scramblers and do a good job of earning stalemates and tying you up. He did a really nice job of finishing on both of them.
Yeah. I was impressed with his riding, how he was able to get out. But one thing, at the end of that match, Gross was in deep. He almost had that double. I really thought, man, he's really going to take him down and win this match. So my question is, I'll ask this to Ben, and I won't know what he says until I get to hear the archive. Wait, I heard his cup clink.
You hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me?
All
hey!
right.
Okay, hey, can I make my point about Spencer Lee?
Make it.
What just happened? It's like magic.
I don't know what
you can hear
happened.
me now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make your point about anything. That's
my point about Spencer Lee was that, and 133 was awesome. But Spencer Lee, I think he listened to our show last week and he realized he's the best GD sprinter in the history of college wrestling. And when he wasn't getting the turns, he just took him down some more because he can, and that's what he should do. I mean, we've seen so many times though in the history of him, he's tried to force these turns, and he's damn good, obviously. But sometimes he doesn't get them. He'll get a stall call or two, but the guy's, hey, I'll take a stall call over giving up 4 back points. So this time he says, Jack Medley, I'm just going to let you go and take you down. Derek Stewart, I'm just going to let you go and take you down. And he realizes, hey, you know what? I'm just a better wrestler than people everywhere. I don't have to turn them to tech them. I can take them down a whole bunch of times.
And the other thing with that is he's so good at one, taking guys down feet to back and like holding them there,
Mm-hmm.
or he transitions well from takedown to turn. So it's just an additional. It's almost like a setup to his turn in many ways when he gets those takedowns. So yeah, are you lobbying for Coach of the Year now for your work with Spencer Lee as a result?
Hey, you know what else is catching? Insta-Death is catching on. I must have got tweeted 25 times about Insta-Death.
I think it needs to happen. I think if there was match termination, I think it should be 3 minutes. You get ready.
I was thinking. What do you? I was thinking 3.5 maybe. What do you think?
Well, I'm just like, you know what? 3 minutes. I want it super attainable, right?
Okay.
But
yeah.
it's still ridiculous. 3 minutes of ride time is kind of a ridiculous amount of time.
Yeah. The other thing is it would change behavior. If it was 3 minutes, if this was a rule, it would change behaviors. Like if you were getting ridden for 220, you wouldn't choose bottom anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I love it. It's taking off. It's taking off. We need to get the NCAA involved, and we need to get these rules makers involved. Okay, what were your thoughts on the Gross Rivera match? Or did you already talk about that?
I don't know. I feel like Seth lets off the gas sometimes, and I don't know why. And he's like, to you guys' point, those first 2 takedowns were so nice. It just felt like he kind of went into shutdown mode, and then when he had to go get the takedown at the end, he almost got the takedown at the end. So it was like, why weren't you in the attack mode the whole time? And that's kind of where I feel like he's most effective. But we've seen in the Sanso match also, he kind of slows it down a lot, and he starts struggling more when he slows it down. He's so effective when he's on his offense. I don't know why he doesn't just keep doing that.
Well, it makes me wonder how to see him slow down when he's a guy that traditionally has not slowed down, especially when you think of 2017 run or 18. I attribute it to doesn't really trust his ability to go 7 minutes really, really hard, that he's worried he's going to fade, that he's worried about the injury, that something's in the back of his mind that's preventing it. In my opinion, I don't know. That's just an observation. For a guy to look that different, that's my thought.
Yeah, and obviously, and this is not my observation, but a lot of people comment, but he doesn't really ride anyone anymore. He doesn't like. It's not even like he doesn't turn him, but he doesn't get more than 30, 40 seconds of ride time at a time, and the guy gets out, and that obviously makes his life so much more difficult. I
mean, DeSanto has gotten away from him routinely now. He got away. Yeah. I guess he got away twice in this match. He got away multiple times at Midlands, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't have to get away in the duel because he was up so big. So I think he got ridden out there in the third, but he already had built such a lead, it was immaterial. So, yeah, I mean, for the guy who was like one of the best top wrestlers when he won a title, and now it's like it's barely even the only weapon he has is he could get a minute of riding time, but he's getting ridden now in certain matches. So, yeah, it's really mysterious. Let's go to the bottom semi.
He only had crazy matches.
Only crazy.
He almost loses to Joey Silva round 1, and he has the in the quarters, and then he has the crazy one with Rivera, and then he goes down the backside, and Sammy Alvarez gives him everything that he has, and then he has another wild one with DeSanto that almost went to sudden victory in the last seconds.
Yeah, he's not. He's not routinely out scrambling guys either.
No.
But he's still winning so many of his matches. It's really amazing. He's not like schooling guys are getting on his legs, and he's like. Not necessarily like turning it into his points like we've seen in the past. Yet, he still remains as a major, major threat here at 133 pounds.
CP made sure to text me as soon as the Joey Silva match was over. It wasn't quite as close as you made it out to be because you said he was in on the winning takedown, but it was 9-7, and he had ride time. So if he would have got the takedown, he still would have been losing.
Yeah, maybe he would have eliminated the riding time if he had finished. It was a hard.
Ben, did you text CP when Joey Silva lost?
He just texted me LOL. Like he put no context or anything. Just like the moment Ridge Lovett went double unders and swept him to his back, he just hits me. LOL. It was not funny.
Joey Silva, we give you he's pretty damn good. If you somehow put a whole season together, he might do something.
Absolutely true. And you know what? That's the game he wound up having to play when. He's clearly a top 33 guy, but if you don't wrestle, if you are not able to wrestle, then you wrestle in the Big Ten, things get really tough. And his losses were to Ridge Lovett, who's really good, and was it Alvarez or Piotrowski?
I have to look at the bracket now.
I can't remember now.
I don't think it was Alvarez.
Yeah, maybe. It was,
yeah, that bracket is just too hard top to bottom. I mean, it's so good.
yeah, we knew it was going to be a tough road for him to figure out. I think it was Piotrowski beat him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Piotrowski's really good. The Piotrowski match against DeSanto, dude, he wrestled him tough, really tough.
Wait,
I mean,
what? Who wrestled who tough?
Piotrowski wrestled DeSanto tough.
Well, he kept the score close. What did he do? Did he even try to score?
Did DeSanto get close? All DeSanto tried to do was push.
Man,
He just wanted to push.
he was trying. Listen, it's hard when the guy won't stay in bounds to score leg attack takedowns. I'll
But
say
DeSanto only pushes. I mean, DeSanto does such a specific thing. You have to do a specific thing back.
Well, I don't. Okay.
So go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, if your whole point is just not getting taken down, yeah, I guess you could say Travis Piotrowski wrestled him tough. But where were the attacks? It's not like he threatened DeSanto really at any point. It was all DeSanto being forward. He was in on multiple shots and couldn't finish. I think it's a mischaracterization. I think it's a oversimplification and something that people go to a lot with Iowa and Austin. That he just pushes. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, so what I'll say to that is, and I have not mischaracterized Iowa's just pushing. They did have guys who did push for several years, but this year's team, they wrestle pretty well. They don't just push. But for DeSanto, obviously, he wants to push you and you pressure back. He hits his jump or other stuff. And Piotrowski was trying to get low to counteract the pressure. Now, Piotrowski doesn't have great offense. I didn't say that. But it was competitive. And when the match was that close, he could have got a takedown to win the match. So I wasn't trying to say Travis Piotrowski is going to beat Austin DeSanto. All I said was he wrestled him tough.
Yeah.
That's not fair?
Well, it's fair. I disagree, but it is fair. I don't think you're being unfair, but I think that is a reasonable opinion. I don't know. I was kind of locked in on that match, and I felt like I didn't understand some of the calls. I've just had major issues after this weekend. Not anything new, but with how they're calling stalling and not calling stalling is really
agree.
Driving me insane. I have two. I don't know if you have seen these. The Griffin Perriott, Brayton Lee. Have you seen this one?
I didn't see that one, though.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, we got it up here.
Buckle up. Right,
Let's set the scene real quick. So Griffin Perriott is leading 1-0 with 55 seconds to go. Is that 55?
Yeah.
Okay. With 55 seconds to go in the third period. And he has an underhook and is trying to just control Brayton Lee. And as you'll see, Lee will just go out of bounds if we can go ahead and play it.
For Lee. Underhook
Listen to Coach
on the
Ursula.
left side of Brayton Lee for Perriott. Lee trying to clear. Perriott just trying to walk him forward here with 45 seconds to go. He's going to get dinged for stalling there. Oh, my gosh.
What? Oh, my God.
One more time. One more time. Listen for the...
Brayton Lee doesn't even know. Brayton Lee's confused.
Underhook
He looks down at his ankle bands like, did that just happen?
Perriott.
Watch,
Lee
they both
trying to
look at their
clear.
ankle bands.
Perriott just trying to walk him forward here with 45 seconds to go. He's going to get dinged for stalling there. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, Brayton Lee's kind of annoyed. And then
Brayton knows.
Brayton's the man.
Straight
He's awesome.
out.
All right, thanks, guys.
From the
And then,
middle.
so that match goes on to sudden victory, which Brayton Lee wins.
So that
One.
sends it to
Yeah.
overtime, and he wins. So so you have that one, which is insane.
Yeah, okay. I got the one that was most offended me.
What's
Matt
that?
Klodzik, Jared Prince. Did you see that?
Okay, well, I do. Kolodzik was involved, but I don't have Kolodzik Prince.
So you don't think
Klodzik Prince, he got 2 points in 17 seconds. I think it was 17 seconds. He got 2 stall points.
I thought those were deserved.
He keeps stalling.
He literally
has to
was
stop
running
stalling.
away.
How about this, Ben?
Guys, you tied the matchup with 2 points in 17. It wasn't that bad. Cue it up.
Well, I don't have it. I can't just
Dang it.
There's no cue it up button, Ben.
Hang on, I'll get it.
Well,
I was like, holy crap, did that just happen? Like,
right.
I could not believe it. Which one are you mad about?
You need to watch this. Hunter Richard, Matt Kolodzik. I was tipped off to this one. I didn't watch it live because I was at Big Tens. And I couldn't believe it. that it happened this way. Now there's only 6 seconds left. It's 4-3. But if you read stalling rules, the edge stalling rules, play this and watch what Kolodziej does and explain to me, Ben, how he doesn't get hit for stalling here. Go ahead.
Okay, you got it. It's almost about as bad as it gets.
As bad as it gets. That's as bad as it gets. They don't call it. I mean, and especially if you're going to write in these edge stall rules, how can that be characterized as action? One more time. We'll watch it once more. Kolodziej.
Yeah, that's bad.
You have to wrestle. Listen, in wrestling matches, you have to wrestle or there's penalties for it. The out of bounds cannot be safety.
Wow.
You cannot.
Yeah, I mean,
you're incentivizing going out of bounds. It's not good.
Yeah, when they said it, there's so many times this weekend that I saw. I mean, it's just not. You can't point out one where the guy offers no resistance as he's backing straight out and he doesn't get called. And it's like, I thought like if we could have a video of what the edge stall rule is supposed to be for, like this was it. This was the one right here. He's not even making any effort. He's going straight back, and yet they don't get stalled. They don't call for stalling. It's so weird.
Yeah, and listen, man, I love Kolodziej, but his late match tactics are going to bite him at Minneapolis if he does it. With Jared Prince, if he just stays and wrestles, that match doesn't go to overtime. But
Do you really think it was that bad? Kyle, can we get that up and watch that again?
I'm working on it. I'm working
on it. He'll probably have it in a couple minutes here. But I thought it was. I mean, to the point that the Princeton coaches were in his grill afterwards for how he wrestled at the end. And then it goes to overtime. He double legs him in 1 second and finishes. This guy is going to give Coach Ayers a heart attack. But the bottom line is these are good officials, right? These aren't idiots. They know the rules, right? They're getting big conference assignments, Big Ten conference. You're getting EIWAs. You're calling the finals. So you're about as proven as an official as we're going to have, right? But the rules are written so poorly. The judgment in writing these rules is so bad, and it was recognized immediately. We've been talking about this for 5 years now, and they just can't give up on the dream that this overly complicated stall system is going to work. If they just had a step-out rule. That's my thing. I think that changes everything. I think that makes the official's job a lot easier, and I think it makes more action. I think the action becomes incredible. And when Matt Kolodziej can't back straight out of bounds without penalty and he has to stay in guards, we're going to get more action, okay, on the edge or otherwise. So I think it only helps the sport. I think it only helps the officials. How every college coach isn't clamoring for this is beyond me. How some college coaches can actually defend this rule set and then, like, when a bad call is made, they just refer to the rule and not understand 5 years later they don't get the rule because you wrote it in such a complicated manner. The fact that they just can't make a concession, it's a very wrestling thing, very stubborn people, but it's time you abandon this thing and move on to something that makes sense. Yeah.
You know what? I never thought I'd be in favor of a push-out rule, but I found myself thinking that several times this weekend. And I think I agree with you. The rules are just they're too terrible. You need that push-out rule. And you know what? The other thing is and people clamor for this, but you would get kids who are a lot better at edge wrestling. If you watch international wrestling, the year they instituted the edge rule, and then watch it now on the edge, people have made huge, gigantic advancements in how they wrestle on the edge, and how good they are and how skilled they are. And a lot of people are really, really, really hard to push out of bounds.
Those are some of the most exciting scenarios in international wrestling. I feel like the edge is made it created a lot of additional action because people aren't giving up the step outs. And you're right. You think of someone like Dake or Yanni, the things they can do on the edge. And then internationally, it's even crazier.
That's what I'm talking about.
Russians can do. Oh my gosh, they're out of this world good.
Can I tell you the stalling one that makes me the most mad that doesn't get called?
Get it.
Roman Bravo Young's got this gimmick where he hooks the ankle with his foot and he connects his head and he puts his hands on the ground. And because his hands are on the leg, they won't call for stalling. But it's like, he's literally not trying to do anything. This is literally what stalling is. Stalling is a failure to progress the action, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. But because his hands aren't actually on the leg, they're on the ground, they won't call it. It is, like, infuriating.
Because they want every stall call legislated and written out what it exactly should look like. And so they want it to involve a count or involve something black and white. And then when blatant inaction is happening, it rarely even occurs to them that they should call it, right? That is disappointing. I thought.
Did you see that move that he does? You know what I'm talking about?
I saw him do it to Seth Gross.
He did it to Seth Gross, and he's done it to a bunch of people since.
He did it. The Sammy Alvarez match. He did it for a while. Yeah. Yes. And I was like, dude, if I was repping him, I'd be like, try that against me once. So the second you do that, I'm gonna hit you.
Don't be cute. That's rule number 1. Don't be cute. It's like just trying to be a little cute with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of this was to try to get to the. Oh, Bracky's got it. All right, here we go. Let's watch this. Let's watch this Kolodzic stalling.
Go Prince. Okay.
Backwards.
Stalling warning on Kolodzic. 1 point Prince, so 4-3 lead now.
18 seconds.
Let's lead to 4-3, 17 seconds. 17 seconds is definitely enough time to get one more stall. Be interesting to see Kolozic's game plan.
15 seconds to go in regulation.
Final 10 seconds here. Kolodzic 4-3 lead. Prince trying to push him. Another shot attempt.
No, he hustles back in bounds.
Stall call again, another point.
And then he circled evading action. Like, ding him.
Okay, so I get that he was stalling, but 2 points in 17 seconds, that's a takedown's worth.
Yeah.
It's not even like Prince even shot on him. It was just he just literally pushed.
To be fair, how would he shoot? As they're, when the guy's going backwards.
Yeah, it's hard to shoot when a guy's running backwards from you.
You could snap and then go, right?
All right, here we go. Olympic. Okay, the Olympic guy's got all the wrestling answers.
You strap, pop, bang, go. Boom. Something like that.
Honestly, no.
Yeah, I just thought. Now that you guys talked me into this, Christian, that I kind of feel like I'm wrong now. I was pretty upset about it last night, and you guys talked me into it. Now I feel like, damn, you kind of deserve 2 points.
And it's just like, in principle, I feel like, all right, if you give up a stall call there, it's got to be pretty blatant to hit him again. But to me, that's blatant, right? I think if that was Ben Askren chasing around Eric Lutke again, I think you would have. I think you'd be holding up the stall fist at the end of it, right?
They didn't give me 2 points the whole match, let alone 17 seconds.
I know. Did he even try to win? That's what Ben wanted to know.
I don't think he did.
So yeah, I think that's stalling, man. We're all over the place. We didn't even get to the bottom 133.
I was about to say, I was about to transition it beautifully. Do you want to talk about the match that had no stall calls in it? That should have?
Oh my gosh.
Austin DeSanto versus Roman Bravo Young?
Unbelievable.
Oh.
It
Chris
was
is
bad.
going to get in trouble on this one.
One shot in the first 30 seconds of the match.
One shot, beautiful double, and he said, "I'm good." And I don't know how there's no warning in that match at any point.
You can't say
not
DeSanto
even a
was
warning,
just pushing,
right?
Not even a warning.
No, not even a warning.
DeSanto got in 6 or 7 times on legit shot attempt in deep to where they were scrambling.
They went out of bounds. He was in on multiple attacks for, this Roman got that takedown early, right? And beyond that, I don't think he really looked to score other than his escape. And if Roman gets hit, that changes the match completely. Because then Roman, it would have been a great thing because then Roman would have done the thing I think he should have done to begin with, which is wrestle the entire time. Because I think Roman, skill for skill, can beat Austin DeSanto. But I think he's gaming things a little bit. He's gaming with his top. He didn't do that against Austin, but then he's not wrestling for
he was evading straight. And he was evading Sammy Alvarez also in that third period to the point where I'm like, how is he not getting called for stalling? This is weird. I couldn't believe he didn't get warranted in the DeSanto match. I think a point probably would have been warranted. Like, would anyone really have been upset if DeSanto got a point for RBY stalling? Because I feel like he was.
No, I don't think anyone would have been upset. But I think more than anything, if he gets a warning, I think that just changes everything. Because I don't think he would have continued that strategy. But if you are given for 4 minutes, you're able to just evade and defend and play defense, and you're really good like Roman is, you're going to be hard to score on, right?
Yeah.
That's where the refs have to intervene to an extent. And then the crazy thing, they really disrupted the flow in like the last 30 seconds when they take a look at for an illegal headlock.
Oh my gosh.
That was weird.
None of them even. So if there was an illegal headlock, then you just call it, right? But They're in the Penn State corner, and
they ask them to look at it.
They just walk over and they look at something. They're like, "No, I don't see anything." It's like, you don't see anything because if you didn't see it when it happened, how could you think to look at it? And Mark Perry tweets these refs are fanboys. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. I didn't understand. I didn't understand that at all.
I mean, you hear all weekend. You heard coaches like I talked about it on one of the calls I was on. When these refs like have to conference with each other, you should probably go look at it. Like if it's close enough where you're having to consult the assistant ref, just go look at it. And sometimes they just refuse to.
Yeah.
And the coaches will ask them to go look at it, and they won't. But then they're like, "Hey, that was legal headlock." Boom, go look at it.
Yeah, they look at it. And Penn State is probably they're the best at challenges. They have the best.
They know the rule
record.
book better than anybody.
They know it better than anyone. And I will say, Penn State gets calls, but Iowa is given a very wide berth of what they're allowed to do as well. There's definitely exceptions for the power programs, and Penn State gets them and Iowa gets them with the officials. So it's definitely even in that way. But I just thought in that scenario, maybe
that was weird.
Maybe it's reputation with Austin. That could be fair. Speaking of reputation, when Roman ran his feet and double-legged him on the other mat, jumped in the air. If that's Austin DeSanto, he's in cuffs.
So how
he does
about-
a night in the Piscataway prison.
So how about this? Go ahead, Ben. You go first.
You go ahead. No, you go first.
So at 157, Will Luan gets in on a really nice shot on Bo Pfeiffer, and he kind of drops him down hard, and Pfeiffer lands hard, and he got the wind knocked out of him, so he rolls over and is like holding himself. The official stops it, and instead of just awarding 2 and starting injury time, he calls an illegal slam on Luan. So now Luan has to go chase Pfeiffer down, score a takedown, and send him to sudden victory, and then beat him in sudden victory. Roman Bravo Young runs Austin DeSanto into the other mat, and then not only did he just finish the double, he left his feet and jumped into it like it was freestyle. And it's just like,
Settle
nothing.
down, boys. Like
that was the part that. Yeah, and but the part that gave it away was how he jumped. You're like, oh, okay, this man was trying to do something. I could not believe it was not a point. I thought for sure they're giving him a point right now. Nope, no point, nothing. I couldn't believe it. Yes, DeSanto definitely. He might have got kicked out of the match for that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I know you earn your reputation. Like, that's on DeSanto.
And he continued to earn it this week, by the way. He lost the team a team point and has lost their growth. I mean, he has not only built his reputation, he continues to maintain it almost every tournament he attends. So let it not be said that he's some example for sportsmanship, because he's certainly not. But you can't just – I think if there's anyone else that does it, that's a point.
You got to call it.
It's debatably a slam if it happens in the middle of the mat, based on this Will Luan clip, which I'm going to try to get so you can see it, Ben.
You can't leave your
or the Alex Facundo clip, which we never talked about.
My
but
gosh.
I don't like getting into – people get too upset about, like, really simple things. So I'm glad we didn't talk about it last week. But, yes, the RBY thing was – I thought it was pretty bad. Surprised it didn't get called.
Yeah, so that was wild. And I think before we – move on to the final, which was also really good, and Roman got the first takedown there. My perception of 133, I guess I will say that Sebastian Rivera should be like head and shoulders the favorite. But seeing how close DeSanto wrestled Roman and Gross, and seeing Gross be right there to beat Sebastian, and knowing how great Roman Bravo Young is, I don't feel that much different than I did coming into Big Tens in terms of how I view this weight class, where it's like, okay, Sebastian, sure he can win it, and he proved that he can beat all these guys. But I've seen Sebastian, the Jack Mueller thing is in my mind, right? And then Seth Gross, that guy's just got that winning quality, and Austin DeSanto was right there on the winning takedown at the end. And Austin DeSanto, if it's called a little bit differently and Roman has to engage, that match could end differently. So I'm curious, Ben, how you now view 33 versus how you viewed it coming in.
Can you guys tell me, I was clicking on and off when you guys couldn't hear me, about where Charles Tucker's going to get seated in this bracket?
We have not really got into that yet.
Oh, I thought you guys were talking about it when I was clicking on it.
a little bit.
Christian asked me which seating prediction people were most upset about that Nomad had, and I said Tucker because I believe. Let me make sure. I believe Nomad had him as the 4, based on the Matrix. No, the 3.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he can't. I feel like he can't be 5, right? He can't be behind all of these guys. Christian, I would say I feel the same way as you that. No, none of these guys is a lock against the other ones. Anyone can beat the other ones. Obviously, we're going to lean a little heavier towards Seabass because he had a great weekend. But if you said DeSanto beat Seabass, that's not shocking. If you said Seth beat Seabass, that's not shocking. I mean, I feel like it could go any of these guys' ways.
Yeah, I agree with you.
The other person that can really mess with seating is Mickey Philippi.
Yep.
He's 25-1. And his losses to Sammy Alvarez. Nomad has him as the 5.
Yeah, he's someone where if you're looking, who potential, what you call them, potential curveballs for DeSanto.
Yeah,
Tucker and Philippi, I think those are guys that can give him really tough matches.
I mean, Tucker beat him when they were Drexel, and they would hit in the quarters if these seeds hold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that will be.
Yeah,
that will be interesting.
That's a really tough match for Austin. Charles Tucker is because he's so disciplined with his positioning. He's really tough. He's hard to open up. DeSanto's going to have a hard time opening Charles Tucker up. And that's going to be a really hard match for him to win.
Yes, I agree completely. So we kind of used 33 similarly, which is kind of cool because it was our most anticipated weight, and it's fun that there's not like a set thing. And even when there is a set thing, it's really hard to say how it'll go. I just sent the Luan Slam via email to Kyle and them, so we may have that here momentarily. So 33, and then go to the final match, Sebastian Rivera, Roman Bravo Young. I didn't get to watch this live. I had to go back and watch it later or yesterday evening. Ben, what were your thoughts on this final?
I love the Seabass shows he can do it all. He eventually kind of wins it or seals it with that ride out in the third period. And it's like, you never really saw that he was going to be that tough on top. Like, if you would have told me Seabass is going to ride out the third period, I would have said that's highly unlikely. But that's what he does to win. So that, and that's one of the things that makes great quality wrestlers, whether you win from a whole bunch of different positions. So I that was kind of this match, that was probably what impressed me the most.
When Bracky watched him warm up, he just said he's gonna win. Like, he just looked that. I didn't get to watch it at all. I was down in Wisconsin. He's like, he's gonna win.
On Thursday, I watched him the whole workout, and then I was like, he's gonna win. He looked awesome. And another. First of all, in the interview afterwards, he said he thought RBY was the best out of all those guys in the weight.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. And then I noticed it in his workout on Thursday, but he was talking about how he wanted to put a bigger emphasis on top-bottom wrestling, and he looked great on top this weekend. Pinned Travis Ford Melton pretty quickly with legs in, and then getting that ride out of RBY and almost turning him too. He did end up getting back points at the end, but that was off an RBY throw. But he almost tilted him up.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that makes me. And so when I started FRL, I don't go to Wisconsin nearly as often. I'm just too busy. But is Seth just focusing on the Olympic trials? Is that where his preparation, and is that why he's not doing so great on top? But then it's like we got Seabass is also, he's gonna try to make an Olympic team he's on the Puerto Rican Olympic team. He has to qualify the spot, and he's looking extra good on top. Right, so, and he's putting extra emphasis on that.
I talked to Seth about that. Like, how do you do your focus right with that looming? And he basically said, "I'm just focused on winning Big Tens and NCAAs right now, and then when it comes time, I'll switch my training." But basically, that he's not doing any freestyle specific training was the gist that I got. So he's focused on the right things. I think he's just physically different than he was 2 years ago, and that's why he can't ride. One thing you mentioned, Ben, where there's that like timing can go, and that's one of the first thing it goes. And when that goes, it's like hard to get it back. Can you lose your timing from the top position?
I actually think that's one of the easiest positions to not lose your timing from, because it's like, I don't think top relies a lot on timing. I don't, but
that's why I think it's physical. I think he like is physically weaker or unable to do some of the things or apply the same top pressure he was able to. I don't think you suddenly can't hold guys down. I think there's something else going on.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Okay.
Totally.
We have that clip, the Luan slam, Ben, for your opinion here. So check this out.
Oh, let's do it. Oh, he did put him down pretty hard, but it's college wrestling. Yeah. Going not a slam.
That's what Sean Bourmet kept screaming at the official.
Yeah. What, this is college wrestling?
Yeah. It is college wrestling.
Meanwhile, post whistle, Roman Bravo Young can basically do exactly that. Leave his feet.
Yeah.
After the whistle blows, on a different mat, all good. You tell me.
One of the things, can we play this again really quick? Because one of the things that makes me say this is not a slam is watch as he picks up here. He does it. It's not like he he jumps or extends up. I don't know if you guys can see my body there.
Yeah, I see it.
It's not like he tries to go extra up. He just goes up and then down. And so for me, that landing was pretty hard, but that's part Bo Pfeiffer. You probably shouldn't let yourself land like that, or you're going to get hurt a little bit, son.
Well, it seemed like Bo was maybe going to try to dive roll or do something underneath to counter, which could put you in. I know the rule is you are responsible to put your if you pick someone up, you're responsible for returning them safely to the mat. That is something that, they say. Yeah.
Well, in college wrestling, they should say you're responsible for defending yourself and not letting yourself get hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
Bo Pfeiffer, shame on you.
I do think he was hurt. I think that hurt him.
Oh no,
that for sure was that sucks to have happened to you.
No one's arguing that.
But that should be a point, and that made the match really interesting. A match that probably should not have been all that close. So that was sort of a surprising thing. So I don't know, that was an interesting little dynamic there. All right, so that's 33. We talked about that a lot. Anything?
Wow, that was a fun weight class. That was so awesome.
It really was. And man, we mentioned him briefly, but Sammy Alvarez he's another potential.
You don't want to draw that guy.
I don't think DeSano wants to see him either. I think he's a really tough matchup. Yeah. He's kind of a gangster, and I also think I feel like he's I always like the sort of irrational confidence guys. I don't know if this makes any sense. Like Sammy probably, it's not irrational, but Sammy probably thinks he's gonna win. Like he thinks he's good enough to win NCAAs, right? And I don't think anyone really probably believes that. But I feel like he's one of those guys that's like, yeah, I'm gonna be good enough to do it. He DMs the FloWrestling Instagram all the time too.
No, he doesn't.
Oh yeah. He's always on the gram. Sliding in the DMs.
He's one of those kids that our previews they feel him. When when Spay or whatever who does a preview picks him 6th or whatever, he's like, I love it. No love or something like that.
Yeah. all love to Sammy. I just think I think his offense is coming along, which is what is most exciting to me, because I think his scrambling, we know it's good. He's good on top. He almost cradled Seth Gross too. Mm-hmm. He was really close there. It was dicey.
I'm gonna check that bracket. I watched that and I'm trying to remember how they exactly called that, but I thought Seth, did they take his back points away? Because I thought he held him there for an extended period of time.
They ended up giving Seth 2 and 2.
No, they give 2. Yeah, I thought, and that was the Rutgers crew protested. I thought it could have been 2 and 4. He held him there for an extended period of time.
But you count very fast, Ben. That's one thing about you. You're a fast.
Are you sure?
No, I thought.
I know when the situation stopped. I've been in that cradle and I've been on both sides of that, and I know oh damn, he's on his back. Where most people are still thinking, oh well, he's got the cradle. It's no, he's stuck on his back. He's not going to go anywhere. And so it's I was counting that situation pretty early, and he doesn't get off his back until he lets go of the cradle and then kind of uses the hand that's between the legs to roll Seth over.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Maybe if the 2 had come earlier, then 2 and 4. I can see that 100%. So yeah, Alvarez is he's gonna be a scary one coming into NCAAs. I like the cut of his jib. Real tough dude.
The cut of his jib.
Yeah.
I never heard that one. What does that mean?
It means like you like kind of his foundation. You like kind of what he's made of. You like.
Okay.
You know what?
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that one. The cut of his jib. That's got a good saying.
Yeah. One's general appearance, mien, or manner. Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
I like your style.
That was a good one.
Thank you. 41, man. Pletcher Lee happened again. Those two pretty much cruised to their finals, right? Although Chad Red kind of made it interesting against Nick Lee after getting majored in the duel, and he gave up the first takedown too. Chad kind of was coming.
It was 7-5.
7-5 at the end, and man, I thought Chad looked really, really good, and he's one of those guys. Talk about a bracket buster. I don't think he's going to have that bad of a seed. I think he'll have a good seed. He got third at Big Tens. He's had a pretty solid year, but he looks like he's rounding into form. Again, like with Alvarez, the question's been like, if he can get to legs, he's really, really good. But if he's just playing the counter, get a cradle, be tough on top game, it's harder for Chad. But he was getting to legs consistently this weekend. I think he's a real nightmare for some guys, including Nick Lee. I don't know about Pletcher. Pletcher may be too tough of a matchup for him now, even though he's beaten him in his life multiple times. But Chad looked good, but Lee proved he was still a step ahead.
Yeah, I was Chad Red wrestled Nick Lee awesome. Obviously, he unfortunately, because I'm a big Tristan Moran fan, he turned around the score there. Tristan majored him this year, but Chad Red looked really good in that match also. And then I think that was twice, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was twice because on the backside also. So that was unfortunate reversal of that matchup for Tristan. But Chad Red had a great tournament, looked really good. Where is he going to be seated come NCAAs? Because obviously Pletcher Lee's going to be 1-2.
I think he might be the 3.
I think if you're those guys, you're hoping he's on the opposite side, so the 3 or the 4, right?
Yeah, I think he's probably the 3. We've had that group, that whole Big Ten group, as the top 4,
top 6.
Yeah,
I think.
really the top 6.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that no other conferences have a guy that.
Well, Don Demas lost to Ian Parker. I mean, he's the other one that could be kind of seated high.
Oh my gosh, that guy's. Everyone's gonna be so mad if he ends up in their quarter or whatever as like a 9 or something stupid. That'll be a disaster for someone potentially.
What if it's Nick Lee?
If it's
Seriously,
it could be Nick Lee, who he beat Nick pretty soundly as we went and rewatched that match last year. I still think it's a different Nick Lee.
It shouldn't be if it's 8-9 because
it'll be
Clutch
Luke.
would be the top. Yeah.
And Luke had it was a sudden victory match at Michigan State that he won.
First weekend of the year.
First weekend of the year, but still happened.
Yeah.
So that could be a really interesting matchup wherever he winds up. But then we have the final. Thoughts on the Lee Pletcher final? It was a fantastic match.
Yeah, I don't know. What conditioning those things is kind of hard to turn around. And Lee kind of gassed Pletcher out. That wasn't long ago. We're talking 3 weeks, and Pletcher looked good and strong the whole match. I don't know how he turned his cardio around. I don't know. Maybe it was a weight cutting thing where in the duel, he's got a little over an hour. In this tournament, he probably waited in the morning, wrestles in the afternoon. But I have a hard time believing it's a weight cutting thing because he was 133 last year. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Luke Pletcher just looked like he had the gas tank for 7 minutes this time and wrestled really, really hard the whole 7 minutes.
I think last time it was more like an emotional thing. I know Tom Ryan kind of talked about it. Like he was just so excited for that match. I think because he hadn't had any other problems throughout the year. He'd been gassing everybody else and scoring a bunch of points.
Yeah.
I think he just worked himself up so much for that match. And he was much calmer this time. And because Nick Lee's going to get his,
Sure.
It's not like someone you're just going to completely shut out. And he just kept coming after Lee scored a couple takedowns.
What's so funny?
Oh, these freaking Facebook comments. Maybe he didn't get his 9.25 hours of sleep because of daylight savings time.
Oh, man. That is 9.25 hours of sleep. That's like the sweet spot.
Someone said gas tank Gary filled Pletcher up.
Gas tank Gary filled Pletcher up. That could be what happened. It was a late takedown. I think the rubber match, I think it's 50-50 at this point who wins that one.
Yeah.
It's really tough. I'm sticking with Nick Lee because he's been my pick all year long, and I don't think there's much to say, like, for sure Pletcher's going to win, but 100%. Now, looking at the updated rankings, Real Woods only has, one loss, and that's to Luke Pletcher?
Pletcher, yeah.
And we have him at 9. I feel like he's going to be way higher than the 9 seed, given –
I think so.
I think he has to. I kind of hope he is. I feel like the season he's had, you shouldn't hit the 1 in the quarters. And
doesn't have a lot of wins is the problem.
That is the problem. And partially his fault, partially not. I mean, if he beats Luke Pletcher, he'll be the 1 seed right now at NCAA. So if he just wins that overtime match, he would be the 1. But he went to the scuffle and just it's not his fault. The scuffle was not what it was the year before. If he'd have won the scuffle the year before, it'd have been crazy. Nick Lee was there, but he wasn't there, and they didn't do Vegas this year, Stanford, which is always weird that a West Coast team wouldn't go to Vegas, but they didn't go, so you're going to get a ton of NCAA qualifier wins if you go to Vegas. Any year, any way, that's just the reality. It's the toughest in-season tournament. So him not going there could hurt his seed, but he's wrestled all year long. He should have a number of qualified wins, and everyone else has some kind of weird losses. Like Moran has a Blockus loss. Dom Demas lost to Caleb Ray. So I think Real should be ahead of Dom. I don't do the rankings anymore.
I feel like you have to move Real Woods up a little bit. I feel like this is one of those ones where if he's higher, people are going to be pissed. If he's lower, people are going to be pissed. Like there's going to be no happy medium with where you put him in this bracket. People are going to be upset that he either went too high or too low. Because when you look at it, you could probably move up as high as 4 or 5, and you could argue as low as 9 as he is on your rankings.
The thing is, you have to beat good wrestlers to get ranked high. And like to be a top 5 guy, you need some top 5 wins. You can't just be a win accumulator against the top 10 to 25 guys in the country. You need to prove your – now, I think the reality is and why people are nervous about this because everyone knows that Real Woods is almost definitely a top 6 guy. He's really good. He's not someone who just had a great schedule and is skating through. He's going to be a guy that can win. And you say Chad Red, Real Woods, I don't know who wins that match. I think that's a crazy match, and that's the number 3 guy in the country. I think anyone short of Lee and Pletcher are right there for Real Woods to beat.
But the Pletcher match was highly contested.
Yeah, he was in on the winning takedown at Ohio State. And Pletcher had a beautiful dive roll to counter that and get the takedown. That was a really amazing finish.
Yeah, so. that was an awesome match. So it's like if you told me Real Woods beat Luke Pletcher, that's not out of the realm of possibilities. No. It definitely is not. So he could be a bracket buster somewhere. I mean, if you put him at 8-9, now he's got, he could potentially have. Damn, if you have Dom Demas and him at 8-9, that's a tough quarter for Luke Pletcher.
Crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
No question. No question about it. So I'm excited. I'm hoping Real. I don't know why. I just kind of want Real to have a better seed than 9 or 8. I just think that would be fair. It may not be relative make sense with his wins, and if that hurts him, then that's the way it goes. But I just think as a wrestling fan that wants parity and even distribution in the brackets, even though chaos is fun too, I hope he's seated differently than he finished as he won his bracket there at Pac-12s. Okay. Any other 41 thoughts? I wonder if we should maybe, since it's 9:14 right now, I guess we have 3 shows. But here's the thing. Here's what's going to happen. Because the brackets are coming out Wednesday evening, Ben. Yep. And so Thursday is going to be all about seeding. So basically we have today and tomorrow to break down conference stuff, right?
You guys should just have rotations where, we go till 9:45 and then 3 new guys come in at 9:45 and they go for an hour. And then 3 new guys come in at 11 o'clock. This week is crazy.
Day long.
And then next week, how many shows are we going to get? Because you guys are traveling NCAAs early. I'm traveling on Wednesday.
Oh my
So I can't do
gosh.
Wednesday or Thursday's wrestling.
We're
I
flying
mean-
Tuesday.
Yeah, what are we gonna do? What the hell are we gonna do?
Well, Wednesday, can you do one Wednesday in Minneapolis?
Yeah, because the flight's short. I don't remember what it is. Yeah, I'm sure.
Is it in the evening or the morning? Do you know?
No, I think I'm leaving at 11 a.m.
Why
I
don't
think.
we do the
Or
Monday
12.
FRL?
Oh, okay. Do you want to do a Monday?
I could do a Monday. Yeah, well, we could do a weekend. We could do weekend FRL.
All right, we'll see what we can figure out. Let's not
Dang.
plan that much, but we would like people to know. So we're gonna do something Wednesday. We're gonna be at Buffalo Jack's, I believe is what it's called.
Nope.
That's not what it's called.
Buffalo Gap.
What's it called?
Cowboy Jacks.
Cowboy Jack's. Sorry, I got my Buffalo Gap on the mind. I wish we were at Buffalo Gap. That'd be better. I think Buffalo Gap should put in a bid for NCAAs. People are so mad about the seating situation, Minneapolis. You know what? Overcompensate. Have it in Buffalo Gap High School gym.
So we are going to be at Cowboy Jacks?
Yeah, Wednesday.
What time?
Ooh.
TDB.
Okay.
We'll figure that out with Ben. Probably in the afternoon.
TBD.
TDB. Yeah. To determine B. No, it's from The Office.
Oh man, I'm out of the joke. Damn it all.
It's okay. All right, so we'll figure that out. 149. Are we good to move on to 149?
Yeah, I'm 141. I mean, all these weight classes. 133 is awesome. 141 is awesome. That's just some good. There's some good wrestling in the conferences. The NCAA seating is like you don't know who's going to land where. It's going to be fascinating. I'm so excited.
So Iowa got a new number one with Pat Lugo. He takes out Sasso, and it's something you referenced, Ben. One thing that concerned you is how easy guys get their underhooks on Sammy Sasso, and he got him. He just threw him by and got the takedown, the only takedown of the match. And what were your thoughts on the final sequence there, the potential danger zone takedown for Sasso?
I mean, I thought he had it. I thought Lugo was on his back for either 4 or 5 seconds. The hard part is the refs don't start counting right away, right?
They don't count. They wait for.
They don't count.
They forget.
He didn't
Why?
count once.
They
He didn't
forget.
count once.
I don't know.
It
I'm
was
thinking.
definitely.
Yeah.
Would you guys agree 4 or 5 seconds?
So we watched it. I watched it this morning, and he's broken 90 at 4. Now,
Yes.
here's the thing. If there's no count, I think they changed it that they can't like go and review it and count.
Because he doesn't.
You have to give the verbal cue that you're in danger, right? So Pat is listening because he has ears. He's like, all right, if they're not going to count, I can just hang here, right? Instead of turning down.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they didn't review and then say, okay, that's 2.
Yeah.
But, they
But
did
if they start
botched the
counting,
rule.
now is. Yeah, because if they start counting, his behavior changes, right? He's nervous. He's got to do something, and then maybe Sasso gets a takedown. So the referee has to be on that count because he was definitely on his back for 3 seconds at least.
I've thought for a while as I see Sammy so often like with his arm up like this, a guy in an underhook, why he doesn't do the Chris Perry, Andrew Howe and pull that underhook to that. And then he does it and he gets in really, really deep. And I just wonder why he waited so long because he was in basically that position a lot of the match, but he didn't pull the trigger on it until he really didn't have that much time left.
Yeah. He needs to get offense going. I don't know. He doesn't have great offense. One of the issues we talked about with him. But, man, when he said, I got to go late in that Lugo match, he got in deep. It didn't take him that long. He needs to do that earlier in the match because that's probably one of his biggest weaknesses. Obviously he struggled to get on Yaya Thomas. That was a really crazy match, which he almost lost. And so now when you look at the brackets, dude, he's gonna have a hard run. He's gonna have a hard run through. Sasso's gonna have a whole bunch of really close matches.
I have no idea who is going to win this weight. It is. I mean, when Kaladzic came back, I was like, that might be the best guy here. And then after EIWAs, I'm like, no, I don't think so. Not unless something changes. You can't wrestle tactically like that and win an NCAA title, I don't think. So that, I think Austin O'Connor for sure can. But that Lugo match was so crazy. I was like, I mean, not crazy. It was like he was kind of dominated, which I didn't expect. But on the other hand, reflip that, O'Connor had not really been wrestling that much either. So the O'Connor we get now could be a completely different thing. And then Sasso, he's beaten Lugo, he's beaten Brayton Lee, he's beaten good guys, but the offense is not there. He's not able. He doesn't have a reliable go-to takedown. And then there's Lugo, who has been as steady and consistent as anyone this year. And I think he's the deserved number one. And I think he's probably is the Vegas favorite, but it's hard to say, put your stamp and say, yep, Pat Lugo's taking this, because he's in a lot of close matches.
Yes. Isn't that everyone at this weight class? I mean, Sasso's in a lot of close matches. Lugo's in a lot of close matches. Colata couldn't not find a close match last weekend.
If the match isn't close, he tries to make it close.
Yeah, I mean, this weight class.
Yell at me. I'm getting screamed at for this.
I mean, very easily you could go down to number 6, Boo, saying that you think they have the potential to win this weight class. Brayton Lee kind of got dominated by Patrick Lugo, so I don't know if I kind of feel like we should put him on the outside looking in for sure.
He lost to Purinton, and he almost lost to Perriott. So, love Brayton Lee. Awesome dude. But he didn't have his best showing at Big Tens, and he needs to be trending up in the right direction. But you see guys have bad conference tournaments, and then they win the thing. It happens routinely. So you can't assume that those trends will hold. So that was 49 for the most part. 57, really maybe the only big shakeup for this weight at all at any tournament was Josh Humphreys taking out Quincy Monday at EIWA's. But really, other than that, I mean, Peyton Robb beating Caleb Young, I guess.
I would say Caleb Young being
not
a top 10 ranked wrestler going 0-2.
Yeah, okay. So maybe that is bigger.
Yeah,
that was – and, Bracky's been kind of like on the something's up with Caleb Young for a couple weeks now, and something is up with Caleb Young. Like, he doesn't have any braces or anything, but his wrestling is just not as good, as sharp. He couldn't finish on Barone. He got countered on that one takedown, and then I think we all knew the Peyton Robb match when we saw that was a quarter. We were like, this is not going to be easy. That was a really tough match at the duel, and Rob took him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just can't seem to get to his offense, and I know in the Rob match I called that one a few times. He's shooting from so far away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's not like lightning quick guy that you can just take those really far away shots. He needs to be close. He likes to go double to single. He's having a hard time finishing that. So things can change, but in terms of trends, they haven't been great for Caleb Young the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, not great at all. I mean, especially when you consider how good he was last year. Think about he beat Ryan Deacon, 3 times last year?
Twice.
Okay, he beat him twice last year. You think about how good Deacon's looking. Like, wow, he's not looking so good. But Iowa's so good that it doesn't really freaking matter.
Yes, that's possibly true. Likely true. Because Deacon looked great. I mean, I think we were like next topicing this weight at Big Tens, and he was really unchallenged completely. Until Coleman did narrow the gap somewhat, but he had lost by like 14 last time, so it's hard to go the other way with it. Marinelli, Cenzo, they should wrestle every week. That should be state law, but that's not the thing. But great final match. What were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, awesome. I agree. I love watching these guys wrestle. It's a lot of fun. The throw was fantastic. I don't know, he threw a little too hard or something and couldn't hold on, but he launched him. And then then Marinelli finishes the Barzigar, which I think that finish stinks, but Marinelli's so powerful, and now I can't tell my kids that finish stinks anymore.
I do too. Every time I see guys go for it, I'm like, that is not. He just can't. But man, he sure enough hit it. Maybe it's timing, and some guys
he was off balance. Yeah.
If you have a guy off balance, you can just take that far knee. But so many times guys go for that, and then they end up in a shin whizzer because they missed the thing, and then that's it. But
he said after the match, that Tom told him to take it if it was there, and he's like, it wasn't really there, but I just went for it.
With the throw? Or
I think he was talking about the finish.
No, the
finish.
Yeah, the Barzigar. Yeah.
That was it was impressive, man. It really was. And one thing that's so Chinzo has a hard time getting to Marinelli's legs, and Chinzo can get to just about everyone. I think that's a big problem for him moving forward. That since the BJC duel years ago, he hasn't really been able to get to his legs consistently, and Marinelli kind of has. So I've been kind of picking Chinzo much of this year, but I'm ready to flip it and say I think Marinelli's going to win this way. I just think the matchup is, for whatever reason. Now, Marinelli, I don't think he can go for it again on these throws anymore. I think he rolled the dice in Carver, paid for it big time, and then here
Almost.
I don't want to say he got lucky, but he kind of got lucky. He got thrown to his back, and there was so much. I'll say he got lucky he wasn't held on his back for something or didn't give up any points. He was thrown to his back and then was able to roll through. I think you just play it safe from that position and say, hey, he clearly doesn't need it. And this is something Coach Brands has kind of mentioned before. It's like, you don't need it, so don't go for it. Because it's literally the winner of that exchange is going to win the match basically every time, right? Because they're that close. So I think he needs to not go for it anymore.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how aggressive he was towards going for it. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but several times after he would shoot, he was still I'll get down here. He was still on a knee, and he would reach up for the body lock from his knee. I couldn't believe he was trying to body lock the man from his knee, but he did it like 3 or 4 times.
Yes, he did.
It was wild.
It's very wild. And what also was wild is when Evan Wick just didn't wrestle. I don't know if you knew that was going to happen or not, Ben, but I did not.
No comment.
Although I should have been clued in on this because I went and shot their practice, and they're doing a practice. They're playing a game, and I was like, huh. And then Wick's just on a bike, just kind of. I was like, that's kind of weird. He's like the only wrestler not doing the practice, and then he was just sitting on the wall. And I was like, Coach Bono, I was like, what's up with Wick? He's like, he's on weight. He doesn't have to do anything, so he's just not. He just kind of does his own thing on these days. I'm like, okay, and I just accept that. The guys, if you're on weight, you're not going to overexert or whatever. So I just thought that was the deal. And then he steps on and forfeits out. So, but I was told 100% he will wrestle at NCAAs.
Yeah.
So that's a high percentage.
No comment.
No comment from Benjamin. All right, fine. So much for we bring you on as a Wisconsin insider. No inside intel. we need 2 things from Ben. We're gonna get him on FRL. We're gonna get we're gonna scoop the Jaden Cox news. We're gonna have all the Wisconsin intel. None of it has happened. Fine.
Just text us, man.
Yeah, you can just text us. It's not a comment if you text us. Literally, technically.
Well, I'm really bad at keeping secrets, but if people say do not say anything, I'm like a steel trap.
I believe that. I believe that. Shane Griffith is an interesting guy here. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that as we move forward. But
Nomad did that seating too, if you would like it.
Uh-oh.
Well, I guess
he gets 3. Where did he get 3?
I feel like he's probably the 2.
Nomad had him at 3.
3. It doesn't matter. He's gonna have Chinzo in the semi. That'll be interesting. If you look at this weight class, you know what's really interesting is McFadden has really, the last couple weeks, the Tech to Monday, lost to Bullard, the loss to Wenzel at ACC Finals. He's not going to get a great seed.
Yeah.
And the quarter he ends up at, now it may just not happen for McFadden this year. He has not looked himself the last. He had a good Midlands. He beat Wick. And then he lost to Marinelli. But that's someone who could Marinelli have him in his quarter. There is a possibility of that because right now he sits at the 9. And Jake Wenzel and Pitt's doing quite a job. Wenzel all the way up to 8.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming with him at this point. And
they finished second at ACCs too, just a few points behind NC State.
If Greg Harvey wins 174, which he was seeded to do, I think they win the whole tournament, which is wild to think about. But congrats to NC State, and we'll talk about the Camacho Mueller thing, as that's maybe the biggest upset of the entire tournament. Congrats to Camacho. That's 65. 74, we had a reversal with Hall taking out Kimmer. Those guys were relatively untested, I think, up to the finals. Did you have any thoughts outside of the finals?
lighting match was pretty competitive.
That's a good point.
I mean,
he got a takedown.
Yeah, he got a takedown second period, and then he had the stall point early, which that was essentially, I don't want to say the deciding point, right? But he got warned for stalling twice in the first period. Mark Hall got a point off that. Lighty got the takedown, and then Mark Hall got the takedown in the second period, and Lighty wasn't able to get in, to a really deep position again later. But yeah, Lighty's good. He's really tough. I don't know where he's going to get seated, but it's probably going to be 3, 4, 5, somewhere pretty high.
Yeah,
I see him as the 4, right where he's
4
seated.
probably.
Or right where he's ranked. Yeah.
What was interesting about the Kimmer Hall final is that I think it ended up being 4 points for Mark. Bader, I thought this was what happened, and Bader did an interview with Kimmer afterwards. He thought the danger calls were on Mark.
Oh, well,
why would it be on Mark?
Well, hold on.
They both were exposed.
And that, I was wondering.
No, hold on. You can't be exposed through someone's body. That's a rule.
Well, if
your body is flat on their body, you're not exposed.
It wasn't like flat like that though. He was like kind of on his legs. Flat. He was like kind of on his legs, and I could see what he's thinking. It's almost like he wasn't as belly down as like Nolf gets with the Winn-Dixie, but it was similar to that position.
Bring it up.
But that's literally why he stayed there. Because as soon as
here's that move, Kyle. That move's the move to use. Someone wraps your arm. You reach this arm on top of their arm, and you go flat back, right? So essentially, your back is right on top of their chest. Number one, you're not exposed, so for the danger works. But I try to pin them from there, so I'll try to finagle a pin. Then when they panic, you just turn towards the legs, and you have an easy takedown. I mean, I don't know why more people don't use that move. That is, if someone locks her on your arm, that is 100% the move to use.
Yeah.
But that's why he just hung out there, because he was just chilling there. But
there's also not anywhere for him to go. So he can say he was chilling there if he wants to, but there's also nowhere to go.
Well, I don't think he said he was chilling there. But he did say because as soon as he bellies out, he looked up and saw the score, and he's like,
yeah.
He immediately gets out of the situation.
Yeah.
But
so he would have given up the takedown, but not the back points. I agree with you guys there.
Yeah.
Or maybe he thought the thing is, you're right, Ben, is that Mark's back is completely on his chest and waist area. At no point is his back. He's broke 90 degrees, but he wasn't exposed through the body. So he'll have to evolve from that. But still, regardless of that exchange, Mark got the first takedown, and Kimmer was I guess Kimmer did get a takedown late, right?
He should have had another one at the buzzer.
You thought?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do think it was 2. But anyways, it wouldn't have mattered. It gives me just I don't feel confident about picking Mark Hall to win. I know he went out and got the first takedown, and that's probably what Kimmer needs to avoid next time, because then Mark was kind of in control. But I absolutely think Kimmer can beat him again.
Yeah, I think this is a coin flip one. But an interesting Kimmer result was his semi against Skatska. I don't know if you guys watched that. It was so weird. It looked, first of all, at the beginning, it was like he was drilling on him, just taking him down at will. It was ridiculous. I was like, Skatska's good. I have a very high opinion of him. He just takedown, getting some turns in there. I'm like, this is going to be a tech or a pin. And then all of a sudden, it was a decision. He was only up by 6 late, and then he gets a 6-point move right at the end, a 6-point reversal to kick it back into the major territory. He was gassed.
And that was because Skatska was trying to force something really hard.
Yes, because it
was right at last 10 seconds or so.
Correct, but I was surprised to see how tired he got, and I don't know if he worked so hard in the beginning, he had nothing left, but it's something to note moving forward.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. So Skatska really, if he just rides it out, it's probably a 16-9 win for Kimmer. But Kimmer was killing him and just ran out of gas, ran out of steam, and Skatska rode him really, got a reversal takedown, rode him really hard. I don't think he can challenge him or anything. I think it's obviously going to be Mark Hall, Michael Kimmer in the finals.
Hey, we're gonna do something when the brackets come out. 174.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna slide the seeds. We're gonna throw Ben Askren in at the 1, and you're gonna give us a match.
I can't make that weight.
Well, you don't have to do it. It's virtual. You're right on weight. You're 2 over right now, and you're just gonna give us the match by match result. How you think you would do at this weight class against these particular opponents. That'll be fun.
Can we talk about something I tweeted about though?
Yeah.
It does not look like
unless it's Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Well, the whole market's having a rough go. That this coronavirus. I am legitimately nervous that they might do something with the NCAAs. I know we need to speed the days up. We speed it up, and get there so we're there already. And the Olympic trials, for that matter.
Coronavirus is a coward.
Yeah,
dude. People are flipping out.
I know. I don't.
I welcome it.
People are overreacting, in my opinion.
Oh,
and I think there's political motivation behind that too.
That's yeah. I mean, yeah, we're not gonna get into that. This is not a political
let's not
show.
Do that.
We won't do that.
Yeah, let's not do that. You guys live in Austin. You might not make it home.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're right. I'm not making it out of the building.
So, Mark Hall doesn't look like he wants to be there. Whether he's winning or losing.
You tweeted that?
He did.
Yeah, he's checked out, bro. It's just like, man, I know he's kind of always been workmanlike, but he's had some, he's had a decent amount of celebrations, or it looks like there's at least something where he's excited, he's into it. Now it just looks like, dude, he's really, really good at wrestling, but it does not look like he wants to be there. And I saw someone was telling me, I didn't see the post, that he was talking about coaching already. Like he's just ready to be done.
I think it was one of the local PA papers. But yeah, that everyone was tagging us in that because that was shortly after Nomad had said that he would be a great high school coach.
Yeah, Nomad's he's like, all right, he needs to not wrestle freestyle. He's just started as a high school coach and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, he's probably gonna want to coach in college. But yeah. I don't know. I don't want to play that game. But you can say that there's a different energy about him, whereas you think about when he beat Bo Jordan at Rec Hall, like how it fired up was. Yeah. Now, that was literally the biggest duel that has ever happened in wrestling history, and he won a huge match against a guy that had beaten him before. It was an NCAA Finals rematch, but there is a different energy about it. But something we've been talking about with Mark is just this guy has been at it so intensely for so long. 6 state titles in the Kentucky year, and then Penn State, and
all the international stuff. It's like, man, there's not been a lot of respite for Mark in the wrestling department. He's made the last 2 years, I think, he hasn't even tried to make world teams, right? Or I guess he did senior. He did this year. Tried to make the senior world team because he lost to Zahid. But the year before that was like the first year he hadn't gone for it. So basically every offseason he's tried to make world teams, and mostly has, and he's had great success. So I think there could be it's just maybe a difficult energy to maintain. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's that. We gotta hustle. It's 9:38. So we gotta keep going. 84. Yeah. Aaron Brooks did the thing. Abe Assad still cannot finish on Cam Caffey. Cam Caffey and Abe Assad are still in splits in a single leg right now as we speak.
Cam Caffey is a freak.
He is unreal.
He's fun. He's fun to watch. And he has kind of a variety of scrambles that he uses, which I think makes it a lot more fun to watch when you don't really know exactly where he's going to go.
No, you don't. And Brooks had to work for his finishes as well. They did not come easy.
Yeah.
But the true freshman figures it out. And I don't know who's going to win this weight. I kind of think it's him or Lujan, but not really. I don't know. I think Brooks is probably my favorite because I think he's the best overall talent. But I think matchups are going to matter. I think he is just a true freshman, and if he'll have to have it for 3 straight days. He's not so amazing on top that I think he's going to have to win straight takedown battles, and that can be a hard thing to do, even if you're the best at it. I think Boland's in the mix. I think Hidley's in the mix. I think Lujan, obviously, he's our number 1 right now.
Have you guys watched the ACC matches yet? Because I have not. I'm annoyed that I have to click through the whole segment of the session. Have you guys watched those two?
I watched the second half of the finals.
So you watched Hidley, Boland?
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Not much happened. I think they
can't score on each other.
Well, I think they.
But then also
A stall call on Hidley.
Was it bad?
Okay.
I can't remember. I gotta go back and watch the match.
Too much wrestling. We didn't report back on that tomorrow, but yeah. Then the Bonacorsi Hidley was
Tiebreakers?
tiebreaker. Tiebreakers, yeah. I think it was tiebreakers. So those guys, all three of those guys, I feel like are in the mix too. I mean, I feel like there's a whole bunch of guys, probably all the way down to 6. Aaron Brooks. You know, I think maybe you even count Cam Caffey in that mix of guys who could potentially win a title.
Yeah, 84 and 149 are similar in this way. It's like, we'll see. There's a lot of guys that could do it, and you can trust a true freshman. And you know, Mark Hall won as a true freshman at 74, but it's just you see the other way too. But Brooks might be my pick. I don't know. He's got a lot of savvy, and you know, him avenging the Vince loss, I think is pretty big as well. Okay, 97, Colin Moore looks really good. I think the biggest story here was Shakur Rashid showing improvement. He beat Jacob Warner, and then lost to
What was
Schultz.
the injury default? What was the injury default about in the second Warner match?
I don't know exactly. I mean, I was calling that match. Someone asked an FRL question was if you were going to call him out for quitting like you did DeSanto.
Well, I thought Kale threw in the towel on him. I didn't. That was really, really weird, wasn't it?
That's what happened. I didn't think it was weird. Well, the pragmatic side of me is like, he's not going to win the match. He doesn't have it. He can't get out on bottom. He's clearly injured. They've used all the tape in the world around both his legs.
I don't know why they wrestled the match.
Are you really?
Yeah, it hurt him.
You think
maybe if he wins
hurt
again,
his body
he
or hurt his?
Both. It could have hurt his body more, and then now it's going to hurt his seating.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. How do they're going to treat that?
Warner gets the most recent win.
Yeah,
and he has 2 wins over him now.
Yep. So he'll get seated.
They should have just not wrestled. They should have medically.
Well, I don't think they would have seated him above. Would they have seated him above Warner if without?
Well, he might not have been above him,
because,
but it would have helped his cause.
Sure. Yeah.
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 So no,
he's not going to be seated. He's not going to be seated very high.
No, but he qualified, which was the main thing,
Yeah.
and his arc is trending the right way. He showed he can beat Jacob Warner. He was in the match with Eric Schultz, and look at this weight. We say it the last 3 or 4 years. Look at this weight, and tell me where, other than Colin Moore, where you're like, no way that's happening.
Noah Adams.
You're saying, yeah, you say that.
Go.
You say that, but this guy is in some close matches. I mean, we got to say it. Our son had a great EIWA's bang.
Yeah. He did.
He looked good. He's rounding into form. You know what? He'll get the titles when it matters. You know, he's trending the right way.
Like he did last time.
Now that wasn't fair. Jared Hott was unnecessarily strong 2 years ago, but now he's a different guy. But you know, J.I.L.O. is 4. Eric Schultz is 5.
What happened to Patrick Brody? He kind of got his butt kicked by Drew Phipps, and I've heard Drew Phipps before, but I couldn't tell you much about him before last weekend.
Yeah, that was surprising.
He was wearing a brace on his knee. I wonder if
he got hurt in the Pagano match.
If that injury is just kind of lingering and he's just not the same.
Yeah, maybe his biceps aren't strong enough. Who's to say? But the last 4 weeks, he's lost to Darmstadt, Pagano, and Phipps. So Brucky not trending the right direction there for sure. So that'll be, you know, keep an eye out for that. But yeah, Shakur, who knows where he's going to get seated? He could be a potential landmine. I don't see him deep down. I don't see him being healthy enough to get in the top 8 and throw a tournament together. But I think any particular guy, he presents a pretty tough matchup. I do believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Colin Moore. Colin Moore's as big a favorite as we maybe have. And then as we go to 285, we got the match, Gable versus Paris, and kind of went how I thought it would, maybe how we all thought it would, with Gable being a pretty dominant winner.
Did you guys think it was a fantastic match, though?
Oh, yeah.
It was exciting.
It was
awesome.
Scrapping hard.
I think there were some really fun exchanges. I mean, Mason got in on that single leg. I think deeper than Gable even expected to. I think Gable viewed that sweep single as like a big reattack opportunity, and that I don't know if it was the first or second time, but he got all the way behind on the sweep to where Gable had to go spin around, I don't think he expected to be in that position. Now, Mason didn't finish, but honestly, I left more encouraged that Mason has a shot at this. I don't think I wouldn't pick it, but compared to how I viewed it coming in to how the match transpired, I give him more of a chance than I did previously. And that may sound crazy because he didn't get a takedown, and Gable had, what, 4? 3?
Yeah.
Well, he got a takedown. He got a takedown at the end, but it was kind of conceded.
2 seconds, yeah.
Right.
What? No, it was longer than that because he cut him. 10. Sorry. Because then he cut him. Remember?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, but he was in deep a couple times before that. Just wasn't able to finish. Where I didn't think, and this is what you're saying too, Christian. I didn't think he was going to get in that deep on Gable.
No, nor I. So he's got a good little timing. He's got a good sweep. Now again, I'm picking Gable, but I think it's more of a match than I realized.
Gable did also not get a takedown because of the table. They ruled it wasn't a takedown because he hit the table.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Mason would have had that one, or Gable would.
No, Gable would have.
Yeah.
His feet were in and everything, but they ruled because he hit the table. It was actually a really funny exchange. So Minnesota challenge was like, it doesn't matter. He's like, he was a takedown, and Bourmet was like, table's too close, and Eggum's like, yeah, I agree, still a takedown, and Bourmet's like, no, can't hit the table.
Those two are great. Bourmet's right. Can't hit the table. Come on, no.
Also, Terry Brand saved the day in that match.
Really?
Yeah, this was hilarious. Early in the first period, Gable's ankle band had kind of fallen off his ankle and was wrapped around his shoe. So it was on the bottom of his shoe.
Oh.
And I actually saw it, but what am I going to say?
Yeah.
Hey, his ankle band's messed up. And Terry was just standing behind the table, kind of behind the Minnesota corner, just watching. And he's like, hey, his anklet's on his shoe. He just screamed it out. And everyone heard it. The ref stopped the match, let him fix his anklet. And so everyone's just laughing because Terry out of nowhere yelled that. and then Terry's like, Jiminy Christmas. It was hilarious. Eggum and everyone was laughing.
Terry's funny.
Yeah.
That's great.
He was helping Gable out.
Wow, what a nice guy.
Yeah.
Keeping him safe. Hey, it's 9:47. Ben, any other thoughts on heavyweight? We got to get the heck out of here.
Man, heavyweight in the Big Ten is good because, Hilger, he was in on some good shots against Mason Paris. I was really disappointed that he got ridden out in the third period.
Yeah.
Cassiope Stevenson, I know it wasn't close, but I'll watch that match again. That was fun. I had a good time watching it.
Gable talked about that in his interview afterwards. Bader asked him if it was just personal, and he's like, yeah. He's like, I think it will always be like that.
I wonder why. Why is it personal?
I think they just hit a lot. All throughout high school, and I don't know, they just don't like each other.
Is
very
it
much.
Personal that this kid that you've beaten every single time you've wrestled? I don't know why that would be personal. But Gable has that chip.
The other thing is the Cassiope. I don't know what you guys call the move, but where he kicked over and pinned him. I forgot about this. Mason Paris. He was getting taken on the edge, and he does it to Gable where he flips him over. But the more impressive part was I thought he was still end up his back, and he hip heists and gets out of it. I mean, Mason moves. I know he lost, right? I just am really impressed with how he moves. He does a lot of things the right way.
Yeah, I think you're right on. It's kind of a weird match to say you're so impressed with someone, but I really was. I was impressed with Mason. That's just maybe the ultimate compliment to Gable Steveson and how excellent he is. Okay, 9:48. We got to go. In the back, please play us out. We will be back tomorrow. You'll see a lot of us tomorrow because we've got the we've got the live bracket show, 5 Central, 6 Eastern. It's going to be amazing.
We're going to yell about so many
We're going to
seeds.
yell. There may be some props. There's a prop. That's a tease. I'm not going to get into it yet. It'll be
I don't even know about this.
Surprise. Yeah, we talked about it, but you probably forgot. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks to Ben Askren. Thanks to you. We got a lot of content coming. I hardly even know what. We got to meet about it, but it's coming. Thanks so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.